In our daily life, we often see two types of people. Some do very well in studying theory, but once it comes to real practice, they completely lost. Others love to think a lot, but they refuse to learn systematically. Confucius found out these tendencies over 2,000 years ago. He said, learning without thinking makes one confused. Thinking without learning makes one lost. And we can find plenty of examples of what he meant. Learning without thinking makes one confused. A classic business failure was Google Glass back in 2012. The engineers had the skills and the technology. They built something that looked futuristic and cool. But here's the problem. They never really thought about what everyday problem this device would solve for ordinary people. Now compare that to today. In Chinese army, tactical VR glasses are rarely being used on the battlefield. Their purpose is clear, to let small combat teams share information quickly and work together more effectively. So, same hardware, two mindsets. One came from showing off, the other came from solving a real problem, and the outcomes are very different. Learning becomes wisdom only after we think it through and try it in real life. Thinking without learning makes one lost. No matter how smart we are, we all just waste time rethinking what was really solved thousands of years ago. I know this from my own experience. When I was young, I loved daydreaming but hated reading. I even wrote a long science fiction novel, and when I finished it, I honestly think I may win a Hugo Award. But then, one of my friends recommended an online sci-fi novel. Just after reading the opening chapter, I realized that I wasn't even close to this level. That's the danger of thinking without learning. This pushed me back to real study and eventually led me to start this channel. So, the key here is practice while learning. Confucianism speaks of the unity of knowledge and action. Truly knowing something means we will naturally do it. In Chinese thought, it's not just Confucianism that emphasizes the value of practice. Daoism teaches acting in accord with nature, the practice of efficient action by understanding and working with the flow of reality. Chinese Buddhism emphasizes that practice itself is cultivation. The very action of doing something mindfully is the pathway to wisdom. Many say Marxist idea of practice took root in China because the culture already valued the unity of knowing and doing. In contrast, many philosophy tend to split theory and practice into two different areas. Chinese thought treats practice as a way of life, something learned naturally, like in some cultures, where kids pick up everyday skills just by growing up within it. Confucius reminds us, learning and thinking must go hand in hand. Learning without thinking is like entering a mass of knowledge. Thinking without learning is like building a castle in the air. True wisdom combines learning with reflection and tests both through practice. That's how knowledge turns into real feel and thought finds where to go. And last thing I want to say, the goal of this channel isn't to give a single perfect answer. It's to share different ideas from Chinese philosophy, sometimes even conflicting others. That's the attitude I hope we all bring here, to learn, to reflect together. My goal is to show you that there are many different ways of thinking in this world. Which idea fits your life best? That's not for me to decide. It's for you to explore through your own thinking and practice. I'm Little Bamboo Yayue. I want to share these ideas with you in my own voice. If you'd like to hear more about Chinese philosophy, subscribe and stay connected. See you next time.